I have exactly no idea how we are 25% of the way done. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Shanna. We are a homeschooling family of 4. We have entered our 7th year, and somehow we are 25% of the way done with the 2023-2024 school year. If you don't know, we have a 6th grader this year and also a 2nd grader. Guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. So, this video, I'm hoping comes together really cohesively because I was just gonna stand here and chat like I normally do, but then I was like, well, today is literally the last day of our first 8 weeks, which is 25% of my intended school year. So, why don't I just kind of bring you along? So like a little bit of like a day in the life of our school year, and then I can talk about things as they're coming up, as we're using them. I think that will be maybe the best way to tackle this because I don't want to forget anything. So that's the plan, okay? That's the plan. I don't know how we're here. I don't know how this has happened. I feel like it's like a whoa, whipping by, but simultaneously, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it. So like that's great, but that's where we're at. That's what's happening. I don't know. It's really, really bananas. So let me see if there's anything I want to start with off the bat. Oh, some changes that we've made to personal life that have made an absolutely huge difference in our homeschool this year. The girls are getting up with an alarm. So they're getting up, their alarm goes off at 7:30, but my little one, we have determined that she needs a bit of play in the morning. That's her love language. That's her love language, and it makes an absolutely huge deal to her if she can kind of fill that bucket before they get started for their day. So because of that, we have an alarm that goes off at 7. They have 30 minutes to play, and then when their alarm goes off at 7:30, it's time to like do your stuff. So this has worked super well, and we are loving it. It's the first year with alarms. So the alarms that are mom trying to remember to wake you up and not get totally distracted by working. So that has gone really, really well. There's autonomy there and it's really nice. So yes, amazing. Something that I have been doing is getting up and like fully getting ready every day, which I don't always do because I usually don't put on like full face of makeup unless I am like filming or something or going somewhere or have some plans. But I feel like what I need right now is more of a consistent schedule, regardless of what I have going on. So I have always been, and this goes back to like my hairstylist days when I would like work early on a Tuesday, but evenings on a Wednesday. And it was just really like kind of disjointed. But I'm not doing that. And I'm loving it. So I am like ready. I feel prepared. I feel confident regardless of what we have going on, which right now, because we are 8 weeks in, we've officially had 3 weeks of like everything we're doing. So we're back into all of the extras that we had planned, all of the things, everything's back. We are full blown, like all out into the world. And I feel pretty good about it. So that's pretty gosh darn good. Okay. So like I said, a little bit of a day in the life. So we're going to try to do some things. This week was a little weird because we have a lot of extra fun stuff. So it's our first real homeschool week where homeschool was on the back burner. Where basically we just had plans. We had fun stuff to do. We got to go to like a fun event, the interactive aquarium and zoo here in Houston with the local homeschool group. So we got great ticket rates. And we hadn't been, so that was fun. But that was like, it's like an hour away and it was like a rainy day. So it was like, we packed up our bags, took them in the car, kids did their things, watching the, Mr. Dummy on those screens. It was awesome. It worked out really well. So because of that, we kind of swap-swapped what was happening on different days, and we're skipping some things like Poodle, Maryland Spelling, Khan Academy, Bio, and Crash Course Mythology this week. We just kind of skipped it because there are more weeks I've planned for than there are lessons or episodes. So it's like, fine, just skipping it this week. Totally no pressure, totally good. We also had a fun event on Tuesday. So it's just been a little like, school was the back burner this week. So yes, I don't know. I feel like that's everything I need to tell you right now. But because of that, we're still working. Like we haven't finished our big history for this week yet. I do want to do a video on that because it's amazing and we love it. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so and then gear up to speed. Also, it is laundry day because it is Thursday and I do all the laundry on Thursday. So I have recently heard my washer and dryer call out to its people with its 45-minute long tune, and I'm gonna go swap of that. It is currently 8:47, which means the girls have about 13 more minutes before they've figured out if they do all their things they have to do, and we start at 9, they can run up and play some more. So this is, again, it's going real well, which I recently shared a video on time management, which I feel like was really helpful to a lot of people. I get a lot of great feedback. So I'm gonna link it right here. So go check that out. All, printables and ideas and all that kind of fun stuff. Because right now, Shanna is not doing anything like last year, Shanna. So, but also, some things stay the same. But, it's an evolution, and here we are. So, yes, I think that's it. Okay, laundry up next so that we can kind of get going. All right, yeah, we'll be back in a minute. Bye, friends. Okay, so naturally, the kids decided to stay in their jams. So I will go back to the original plan if and when they put on day clothes. But if not, then it will just be me here standing and talking to you. So yeah, we're just gonna pivot. We're gonna pivot. It is, let's see, 9:15. They've started on their workbooky stuff they can do without me. And I just finished breakfast and we're gonna head in and get started. It's Thursday, so Thursdays tend to go a little faster because the end of the week. So Marilyn's already done her all about reading for the week, things like that. So I'll be back. Worst case, I'll just come run down the list of things and give you updates and feelings. I do have some pretty strong feelings about science, so we'll be back. Okay, guys, so if you remember from a minute ago, I told you that it was going to be one way and that was the goal. But if you have kids, you understand that that is not how it works in the real world. And well, it's not how it's working here today. We are done with school now. But I've got a whole pile of things. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, so that's enough of that. Let's get into this. Okay, let me start with, let me see. Okay, so reading for Marilyn for my second grader has been, we're definitely at the place where she's less learning how to read. And I don't think I've shared our full second grade language arts, everything that we're doing. So I need to do that. But reading, grammar, spelling, all going really well with her. And I know that success is from the All About Spelling program and the All About Reading, working hand in hand. So that's really huge. Reading, writing, spelling for my big kid. I have a video coming up on this, I think really soon actually, about All About Spelling and what we're doing with my big kid, but it's going really well. It's also going really fast. So that is kind of what that video is going to be about, is about how we're kind of amending the plan for her, what we're doing, how we're using it, things like that. Writing, we just finished actually today, Grammar Voyage. So my intention was that it would take 4 or 5 weeks to get through, and it's taken us 8. And that's okay. There's not enough chapters to stretch to the full year, the full 32 weeks anyway. We needed to go slower, so we just went slower. That just is what it is. So the next part, we'll be getting into the essays and things like that. As you guys know, I've never had a really strong focus on writing in my homeschool because it just didn't seem like it was appropriate yet. And so we did start with, how to construct a good sentence and then how to do a good paragraph. And now we're moving into essays. So it's starting, my next update. We should be deep in the thick of it. I'll keep you posted. Okay. Math. Now, I feel really good to be able to report on this. I have already shared both of our math curriculums for this year already. So here is my little one's multiplication, her first unit test. Look at that. She's really big right now on grades. So it's so funny the things that your homeschool kids pick up on that you wouldn't think. And then my big kids, pre-algebra, this is her first test. On that note, how have I been doing with tracking and record keeping? Terribly. Terribly. I feel like this is our first big kind of grade. So I'm gonna do it. Okay. I'm gonna I don't know, keep some sort of record. I don't know how. I gotta get on it. Yeah. So I need to do a better job of that. for reals. And I have not been, we just do what's next. It's really hard for me to keep track of things. Anyways, math is great. Yeah, okay, so you guys know I'm obsessed with Mommy Monday, my favorite thing, like maybe ever. We do lots of things, we cover lots of things on our Mondays. We're covering mythology, we're doing Khan Academy Bio. We are also doing Big History Project, which is history, but so far we have just today finished the first part of the third unit. So we've just passed the second threshold. And so it's still history to this point because it's been like Big Bang and the formation of stars. So we are still not actually into the history aspect of that yet. So really it's kind of more history. And on that note, and I need to do a whole video on it, but I do feel like Big History Project, had I been trying to manage this on my own, like through the Big History website, I feel like I would be swimming. But because it's laid out in Khan Academy, it does it, like it's structured and laid out for me. I just have to click next. And so because of that, it is therefore manageable for me. I feel like it'd be maybe a bit much if it weren't for that fact, but it is, so yay. Let's see. You guys know, trying something new this year with the Discover Science. And my first glance, I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It looks great. It's wonderful. Looks simple. In practice, I realized that it was too gosh darn much. So I pivoted and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go over the bits of nuggets and pieces of things that we want to do. We have now done that we've actually been doing this one for 9 weeks. So we've probably done that for the last 7 weeks and it is working better. However, I will probably continue using it. As of now, my plan is to continue using it, but I would not buy it again. I wouldn't. For a couple of reasons. It is, at least from my 6th graders' point of view, it's not that the answers aren't there. It's that there is just an expected level of inference that I don't feel like is necessarily reasonable. And I think it would be different if we were doing this in a classroom setting and all working through it at the same time. I think it could be different, but it is not for us. And I just don't feel like it is a good fit for us. We've done several fun experiments. We've boiled water and made ice cubes and done the whole water cycle together, and that's been really fun. And we built models, cell models all together out of clay, and we've done heredity with gummy bears and chopping them up like crazy axe murderers, and that's been fun. I just don't know that Discover Science is almost too much in the sense that I feel like the questions are a little vague and they're not directly answered in the text. Again, there's quite a bit of inference. You have to read it and then kind of fill in a couple of the gaps. They don't specifically spell out the answers that they're looking for. And then it's almost not enough. So it's like a weird mix. I'm not loving it. And so we will, as of now, probably continue using it because I've bought and paid for it. And we've got a little bit of a decent system. Okay, so we will probably continue using it. However, I'm not in love with it and I wouldn't spend the money or do it again. So that's how I'm feeling on that now at 8 weeks in. If at 16 weeks, if halfway through the year we're still using it, I might be shocked, to be absolutely honest with you. So yeah, honest to goodness feelings on that one. So that just is what it is. It just really is. Everything else, I don't feel like there's anything else to report anywhere else. That's kind of the big change right there. And then the big progress on the other things. Oh, you know what else I'm kind of garbaging at right now is the extras. With the exception of we've been doing family game night every week, which is really fun. And so we're incorporating in a lot of our learning games, but also like Monopoly Junior and the other games that we love that we own in our house, because they tend to sit there and they don't get enough love. And so this is forcing us to cycle through them. So I've done really great on family game night or game of the week. And if you want to see what we're playing, actually, I'm sharing that every week over on Instagram. And then the other extra that I'm doing really, really well with is the Cultured Kid. So we're doing that as a family, the flashcards, the games, the watching the vocabulary videos. So that's really fun. So we're doing a great job with the Cultured Kid. My big kid, through the Timberdoodle review process, we've gotten the opportunity to experience the vocal chin, which we've done a good job of using, and Manned Labs, which I'll be sharing about pretty soon, but it's like an engineering set. It's so cool. Anyways, but we're doing great with that. However, all of the art, none of it's come out. All of those things have not come out. And I know that that is a yet. Like, we've got our good footing, we're getting into our routines. So I know that those things are on the horizon for us. My little one has done a great job with her tappity, but like, as far as the things that came in, the extras, the arts, the things like that, we need to get on. We have done high gas. We're actually almost done with high gas fees. So maybe that's because they just love it. My intention was never to go through it this quickly, but they love it. And they are always asking for the next one and ready to go. So that we did finally finish A History of the U.S., the audiobooks in the car. And I had, Pandia Press had a great sale, and the History Quest United States History audiobook finally came out. And so I purchased that, 25% off. That's great. And we're already halfway done with that. And I do think I'm going to share a comparison of those two U.S. histories together, against each other, whatever, however you want to look at that. We're going to do it side by side. So that'll be coming up soon too. And I think that's it. I think it's everything you need to know at this 8 weeks. Yeah. I can't think of anything else. Let me know. What are you using? What are you doing? Are you using the Discovery Science? Is it working better for you than it's working for us? Because now I really want to know. Is it me? Maybe it's me. But even if it is, so what? It's not working for me. That's all that matters. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. It was going to be a different video, and then it turned into this video, and I never know what's going to happen here, but that's life, momming and kidding. So guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down to the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. I will link down below. I think instead of putting all of the individual product links, I finally set up my favorites page on my website, and I've got it broken down into our extras, what we're using, what I'm using for 6th, what I'm using for 2nd, and each thing has its own button that has all the right links. So I will probably just link that favorites page right down below. So yeah, that's probably the easiest way for me to do that, I think, because it's already all mapped out there. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. Happy end of first quarter. You know, I forgot to mention it and I wanted to add it. So we have been doing the Cultured Kid as a family. And if you guys don't know, my oldest has a phone, but it is we searched out, we did so much research on what kind of phone we wanted to get her, because the world is a crazy place. So we had settled on the Pinwheel smartphone, which has an entirely locked down operating system, and they don't have full access to the internet. However, they can do, so it's smarter than just a flip phone, so they can do apps and things like that. They just have to come from this list of pre-approved apps that you can load to the phone. It's a whole thing. Anyways, but because we've been doing the Cultured Kid, it has sparked a serious interest in her for wanting to learn Spanish, for real. And one of the apps that she can do is Duolingo. So she's been doing Duolingo on her own, on her apps, on her phone. And it is we didn't even have to ask, we didn't ask her to do it. None of that, which is so funny because that's also how she learned how to play chess, because her friend who has the same kind of phone would play chess. And so they would battle. And so that's how she learned how to play chess. Because she was getting doing all of this right at the same time we were doing the storybook chess, which is an awesome game, teaching them through story how to play chess. Timberdoodle finds the best stuff. They really find the best stuff. But then also, she did the same thing with Flags of the World. It was another one of the apps that she could use. And so she taught herself how to recognize the flags of the world. And that was before we even did I can't think of the word. What am I trying to say? It starts with the Popic map. There we go. Oh man, talk about a blank and a half. Woo. Anyways, so I am not saying but this was my thinking in getting her the kind of phone that we got her, is that it's like training wheels, right? So we want her to know how to use the amazing resource that is the internet and apps and technology. We don't want to keep her from being able to do that. So it was like a nice, for us, it checked the box of a nice, good feeling thing. And again, that'll be linked on my favorites page too. So that's it. I did want to add that and I totally forgot. So you never know what one thing is going to spark the next thing is going to spark the next thing. And then before you know it, your kid is voluntarily learning the flags of the world or voluntarily learning Spanish on her own free time. And that's pretty cool. So crazy world.